Welcome to a special presentation, Evening of Hope at Home. Now, here are your hosts, James Whitford, Howie Nunnally, and Kate Kelly.
One night every year, hundreds of people from the four-state area gather together in support of Watered Gardens Ministries based in Joplin. It is an evening of hope, and although we're not gathering together this year for obvious reasons, we're excited to bring the same good news of hope to your own living room through virtual tours of our ministry campuses and testimonies of lives being impacted through the work of the ministry. I want to thank all of these folks who helped sponsor this evening of hope so that we could be with you tonight. Our ministry's name, Watered Gardens, comes from Isaiah chapter 58, where God reminds his people that if we'll divide our bread with the hungry, shelter the poor, and clothe the naked, if we'll extend ourselves to those in need, we'll be like a watered garden and like a spring whose waters never fail. What does that look like today? Well, you're about to find out. For hundreds of volunteers who serve with us and thousands of others in need, it is the expression of these four core values that you'll see displayed tonight: relationship, redemption, hope, and human dignity.
Tonight is a celebration of God's restorative work in the lives of people who have struggled in deep poverty and homelessness. But tonight is also a call for you to join in this fight against poverty. Watered Gardens is 100% privately funded ministry that relies on your compassion and generosity to complete the mission they've been called to. Thank you in advance for considering how you can partner with Watered Gardens. Tonight, at any time through this broadcast, you can give by texting EOH 2020 to 56525 or by visiting wateredgardens.org/give or by calling 417-272-5900. And there's a silent auction going on right now. Here are two of the many Christmas items up for bid. You'll want to head on over to our Facebook page. You can find us by searching Watered Gardens or by going to the website wateredgardens.org. That auction only lasts until 8:30 tonight. These are only a few of the items available. There are dozens you can bid on.
We believe the local church should be the first responder to needs in our neighborhood. This is why Watered Gardens exists to serve the church in its mission to help the poor. And it's why we cherish the relationships that we've developed with more than 100 churches like Hope City.
Thanks, James. Cody, you've emceed the Watered Gardens Evening of Hope for the last 3 years. What are the other ways you and Hope City partner with Watered Gardens, and why?
Yeah, we've actually found a couple ways to partner that Watered Gardens makes it really easy. One, we have folks who volunteer to RA in the shelter, and they do that often, but also through serving meals. A couple ways we've been able to do it uniquely as a church is we sponsor a bed each year, and that bed is a really great way to partner because we get a chance to hear the stories of who end up staying in those beds. And so it gives us a chance just to hear what God's doing. And then also in that, the last few years, we've had the chance of packing meals for the food pantry. And so this last year, we were able to pack, as a church, 17,000 meals. And that was just a huge way for us to engage with Watered Gardens in their mission.
Wow, that's incredible. So how does this further your mission or exemplify that as one of many area church pastors with congregations who partner? Really, how does that further your mission?
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about Watered Gardens is they see themselves as an extension of the church. It's not something that functions outside of the local church, but it makes all of our churches in the community better. And the way they do that really is through doing a lot of the things that we can't do in-house. And so that partnership for us is huge. It makes our mission more effective in reaching those who we know Christ has called us to reach. And so for us, it's just a natural partnership.
We're so glad to have you be a part of this community.
Thanks, Kate. For those struggling in chronic homelessness, lifelong addictions, or severe mental health problems, the first glimmer of real hope often breaks through when they step in through the doors of this first ministry campus we want to share with you tonight. Here's Doug at Watered Gardens Outreach Center.
Well, welcome to the Outreach Center. My name is Doug Gamble, and I serve as the director here. The Outreach Center really serves as the starting point for anyone in need, and usually their first encounter with the Watered Gardens ministry. At the Outreach Center, we really have two areas in which we serve folks. One is with our emergency overnight shelter. At the shelter, we have 38 beds for men, 10 for women, and 6 in our respite unit. And our respite unit is specifically for those being discharged from the hospital without a place to go to that's adequate for recovery. As they come into our overnight shelter, certainly they have a bed, but they also have a hot meal. In addition to all of that, we also have our day outreach, where it's where folks can come and have clothing needs met, as well as take a warm shower. And then certainly if they're in need of food, then we have our mission market. Our mission market serves really less like a traditional food pantry and more like a modern grocery store in which they can actually shop for what they need. Now, spanning both of those areas is our chapel and programming at night, which is all about preaching the gospel and teaching scripture, and then care coordination. Care coordination is helping folks take next steps in their life through relationships. People often think that needs are met best through resources, but really needs are met through relationship. And so we do that in care coordination, at shelter check-in, or at any place that you serve here. It really is all about relationships. Well, I'm here with Reginald, and Reginald has been with us here in our shelter for about 2.5 months. So Reginald, tell us about what brought you here.
I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and my roommate slash landlord got murdered. And I couldn't check into the missions there. So I was acquainted with Joplin, so I came to Joplin and checked in at Water Gardens.
Yeah. Had you lived here before or lived in Joplin before?
I had been to Joplin, yes, before.
And what's been your experience like so far at Water Gardens?
It's been very good. It's been a very growing experience.
What are some of the ways that you feel like you've grown since being here?
It's brought me closer to Christ, and it's brought me in a lot better relationship with other people.
Well, thank you, Reginald. We're so grateful to have a place like the Outreach Center where people like Reginald can get help at where they're at in life and take that next step.
I have some great news to share with you. We pre-recorded that testimony, and since then, Reginald saved his money from his job, leased his apartment, and he's no longer homeless. Reginald is just one of hundreds of people who will find themselves in need of emergency shelter from us each year. And he's one of 173 homeless, unemployed people we helped find a job and a life off the streets this year. Obviously, that kind of work takes more than a hot meal and a simple bed. It requires case management, goal setting, job training, and real compassion that provide new opportunities and a pathway to recovery. No more clearly is that seen than in our new respite unit Doug just mentioned. We couldn't have done that without the help of Mercy Hospital. And now we're going to toss it over to Kate Kelly, who is here with Mercy, to talk about their involvement in the Outreach Center. Kate?
Thanks, James. I'm here with Aaron Lewis, the Community Health and Access Director for Mercy Hospital. Aaron, what has Mercy's involvement been with Water Gardens?
Sure. So a couple of ways we've been involved is supporting their respite unit and also their Forge program. So we feel fortunate to support those students that graduate for the Forge program as a potential employer for those students. And also the respite unit gives a chance to find patients a safe place to stay after discharge, and Water Gardens is a perfect spot for that.
I love that. So what is it about Water Gardens Ministries that really keeps bringing your organizations together in that partnership?
Yeah, well, I think both are really truly a ministry. So we want to continue that service and that ministry of Jesus Christ. So it's in our mission to bring to life the healing ministry of Jesus, and I think it's a perfect way to partner with Water Gardens because they're in the business of restoring people back to a life that they deserve. So, yeah.
That's great. I love that. And now back to you, James.
Kate and Aaron, thank you. There's a lot of compassionate work going on at the Outreach Center. But to really solve problems of poverty, we have to have more than a heart for the poor. We have to have a mind for the poor also. On the back of a charity pamphlet in the late 1800s was written, "Intelligent giving and intelligent withholding are alike true charity." The idea is this: handouts with no accountability, with no call for contribution from the recipient, will always fail in solving poverty and instead create dependency. Consider these 5 steps to dependency in the book Toxic Charity. If you give something to someone once, they'll appreciate it. If you give it again, they'll anticipate that you'll do it a third time. Give it a third time, and they'll develop an expectation. A 4th time, they'll feel entitled, and a 5th time, they'll be dependent on you for it. Appreciation, anticipation, expectation, entitlement, and dependency. These 5 steps to dependency can only be countered by work. We believe work awakens worth in a person's life. It restores right recognition of the inherent dignity in every human as a special creation of God. And it's why we have our Worth Shop. Travis?
I'm sitting here in the Worth Shop in Clayton. The director wasn't able to be with us on site, but we do have him on Zoom, so let's go to Clayton now. Hey, Clayton.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you being here. I'm in the Worth Shop, and you're not here, but you're the director. So rather than me tell folks about this place, I thought you should be the one to do it.
Yes, sir. Awesome. My name is Clayton, and I serve at Water Gardens Ministries as the Worth Shop director. The Worth Shop is a place where residents and partners can come and earn the things that they need. At the Worth Shop, we believe a hand up is better than a hand out, and that each individual has an inherent value, worth, and dignity. We want to offer an opportunity for individuals to protect their dignity from the toxicity that comes from repetitive handouts. Now, we believe that at the Worth Shop that work awakens worth. And so while at the Worth Shop, a partner can earn clothing from our thrift store or a food box for the week or even a shower for the day. They can do that by joining in our recycling area where we take apart old air conditioners, appliances, and other non-working items, break them down to be sorted and recycled. A partner could also earn what they need by serving in our craft area where we make leather and copper cuffs, leather journals, and roast, grind, and package our very own Redeemed Bean coffee. Now, each product is handcrafted in the Worth Shop by our residents and partners working alongside our volunteers. And all proceeds that come from our recycling and our products go straight back into mission operations. Now, Travis, I wish I was there, but I know you have Justin, and I'd love to hear from him and his experience at our Worth Shop.
Thanks, Clayton.
Now we have an opportunity to visit with Justin, who moved down here from Northwest Missouri to Joplin to get a fresh start in life. Justin, thanks for being here. How long have you been at Water Gardens Outreach Center?
I've been here a couple months now.
Okay. And what's the experience been like for you so far?
It's been very pleasant and very, very good. I feel completely blessed.
So what is it that you get to do while you're here?
Well, the Worth Shop is to be able to work for the things you need, food, clothing, and it gives you a sense of pride to be able to work for these things you need when you're in the predicament that you might be in.
Right.
And I find it very gratifying and very enjoying to work for what I need.
And when you come down to the Worth Shop to work, where are you normally stationed?
I typically work in the copper removal station.
Okay.
Because it's the biggest station for them to be able to make their bracelets and stuff that they sell online. Okay. And it's good to know that you're doing something to contribute to help make money for the ones that are taking care of you here at Water Gardens.
What's that like for you?
Well, in the process, I mean, I get the experience of learning something new and just being able to put one foot forward and help and feel like I'm contributing to the Water Gardens, which is being generous and kind.
So what's next?
Well, what's next is I'm going into the Forge program.
Okay.
And it's a 15-month program, and after that, hopefully I will be a productive, successful member of the Joplin Society.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin, for taking time to visit with us today. We are really excited that we have a Worth Shop that's part of the ministry here at Water Gardens so that folks like Justin have a place where they can earn what they need. Thanks so much for stopping by the Worth Shop today.
More than 42,000 pounds of material was recycled at the Worth Shop just this last year. It allowed for more than 25,000 basic needs to be earned. Work not only awakens a worth in the individual, but it creates value out of stuff that most people consider junk. Check out these beautiful products made in the Worth Shop. Products are available for purchase at projectworth.org, and Water Gardens is even branching out with a fundraising catalog so we can partner with schools and other youth organizations.
Just a minute ago, you heard from Justin in the Worth Shop. Good news. He was accepted into the Water Gardens long-term program for work readiness and character development, Forge. And now, here's a testimony of a graduate from that program. Listen to how it literally saved and transformed Jamie's life.
My name is Jamie Vera. I'm 30 years old, and I'm a Forge graduate. I was in the midst of about a 16-year drug addiction, but the only thing I had going for me was that I wasn't dead yet. I had destroyed my marriage. I wasn't allowed to see my wife and kids. I was at the end of my rope. All I knew for certain was that I was tired of messing up, tired of burning my life down just to try and rebuild it, just to make some poor decisions and burn it down again. So I felt like, my only option was to take my life. But my friend told me about the Forge. He got a hold of me and told me about the Forge program. I needed a change, and the Forge was that change. If it wasn't for the Forge or for Watered Gardens, I wouldn't have found God. They come alongside you and help you out, teach you how to live the right way, how to live without the crutches of being high and messing up, It's a never-ending circle right there. They're listening to God's call on their life to help others. They changed my life. Like I said, without them, I would have never come to Christ. I don't have to worry about my children growing up and living the same lifestyle I did as a kid. They go to church, they're happy kids. They don't see all the drama and the nonsense and the violence that comes with the lifestyle of addiction. That cycle's been broken. And I know that now they have a chance at a normal childhood and normal life. Those chains have been broken by the people who have helped me, at the Forge, at Watered Gardens, and by the grace of God. I definitely didn't deserve the help and the love that He's shown me, but thankfully He was there for me.
Once on the brink of ending it all, Jamie is now living the abundant life Jesus had planned for him. Forge, Watered Gardens Center for Virtue and Work, is located right here on 15th Street in Joplin. This church has been renovated into a dormitory for 22 students. Now, many in the community were involved in that project, but certainly none more than our friends at Schuber Mitchell. Dan Mitchell from Schuber Mitchell Homes is in the studio with Kate to talk about their partnership. Kate?
I love how a business that builds homes invests in a ministry with clients who are homeless. What has been Schuber Mitchell's involvement with Watered Gardens and why?
Well, we love serving with Watered Gardens because, number one for me, we love because God first loved us. And so when we look at our community, we can't escape the fact that we were saved, that we were loved by God first. And so we want to give back because He's been so gracious to us. And so Watered Gardens provide so many great ways for that. One of my favorite things that we've done in the last few years is helping remodel the Forge building. Our builders being out there, managing the site and helping other trades and other people in the community that also donated to the project. We love doing that. We love serving in the food line. We have some guys signing up to be RAs on the overnight stays. And our input is made easy by how well Watered Gardens administrates their ministry. They have it's so easy to get involved because they administrate it so well. So we love being involved.
That's great, and it's so great to see you growing. So tell us about your special challenge grant for this evening.
Yeah, we have issued a grant of $21,000. So anyone who donates this evening, we will match it up to $21,000. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity.
That is incredible. Thanks so much for being here, Dan. Now let's send it back over to James.
Thank you, Dan. You heard it. Schuber Mitchell is matching up to $21,000 this evening of hope. Here's how you can take advantage of that. You can call right now, 417-272-5900, or visit watergardens.org/give, or text EOH 2020 to 56525. And don't forget about the auction items. Bid right now and get ahead of the mad race to deck out your home or business with incredible Christmas decor. Now, you want to head on over to the Facebook page. You can find it by searching Water Gardens or by going to the website, watergardens.org. That auction only lasts until 8:30 tonight. These are only a few of the items available. There are dozens you can bid on.
I'm excited to share our last ministry campus with you. For far too long, we've regularly received calls from moms with children caught in homelessness or desperately trying to stay off the streets. We felt God calling us to step up and meet this need. And after 2 years of planning and renovation, I am so excited for you to see the Washington Family Hope Center tonight. Here's Matt Engel.
Hey everyone, welcome to Washington Family Hope Center. We are the newest campus for Water Gardens, and we are located in the old Washington Schoolhouse on East 2nd Street here in Joplin, and we just opened our doors the 1st of June. We had our first family move in. We are a shelter for moms and children, and we have 6 rooms available. And by the end of the month of June, we had all 6 of those rooms full. We've been full continually since then. Right now, we are sitting in our dining commons area. And as you can see behind me, we've got this great indoor playground for kids to play on. And then this is just a great place for moms to come and sit and relax, build relationships. We also have our commercial kitchen. And in our kitchen, we provide meals for our families that are staying here. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For dinner, we have meal crews that come in that are volunteers and come in and provide dinner for our families every evening. We also have our child care area. We provide child care here for our moms for ages birth up to preschool, and that allows them to not have to worry about finding childcare while they're working or while they're taking classes, and is a big relief to our moms. We also have our Brain Learning Center, which is where we get to have classes that help our moms, teaching them subjects such as parenting, finances, wellness, and also our care coordinator meets with each one of our ladies once a week in there to set long-term and short-term goals to help prepare them for the time when they eventually move out. One of the things our moms and we are most excited about is our actual living quarters. We have 6 individual family rooms. Each room comes with 5 beds, so we can sleep a mom and up to 4 kids in each room. They have a little dining room set in there. They have a chair, and they have a little kitchenette, and each room actually has its own bathroom with a shower. So there's lots of privacy, and it's a nice space for them to come in and just feel like they're at home and not feel like they're just in a homeless shelter. We're here in one of our rooms with Teddy. Teddy and her 4 kids moved to Washington Family Hope Center the 2nd week of June after being homeless for more than a year. She had come out of an abusive relationship and has dealt with addiction issues, and we just wanted to ask her a couple questions. So Teddy, when you moved into Washington Family, what were your expectations about coming here, and how did that change after you had been here for a while?
Well, I expected 2 things. I expected it either just to be another shelter, just somewhere to be, and somewhere just to be kind of where you're not on the street. And then I had another expectation, which was it was going to be kind of like a lockdown. It wasn't your way of, you wasn't going to have your way of nothing. It was going to be real critical, looking down upon me. And I feel like this is home. I feel like I can actually have a home setting for my children. That way there's stability, and we have stability, and we have support. Not only do we have support, we have God's love through God's people. We have direction. We have mentors. We have tutors. We have just a firm foundation in God, which really makes a difference, and people that really care.
And what do you feel like has been the biggest benefit to you and your kids since you've lived here at Washington Family?
Support. like support and people that really care about moving forward, for me to be able to move forward and to care enough for my kids and me at the same time to know that I need help and that I'm trying my best, and I'm getting that here.
We are so excited to see what God is going to do here for families like Teddy's, where they can receive the love and support and stability they need to set a new course for their families. Thank you for coming by Washington Family Hope Center.
Wow, what a beautiful center dedicated to the beautiful work of helping moms like Teddy. This incredible project took $1.2 million to complete. And get this, it was completely paid for before Watered Gardens even opened the doors this last June. It's a testimony of God's goodness and the compassionate and generous community we live in. Those gifts dedicated to the completion of Washington Family Hope Center came from more than 1,100 individual donors and countless in-kind contributions from local businesses. One of those was the Abe Paint Team. Kate?
Thanks, Howie. I'm here with Tim Albertson, the CEO and sales manager for Abe Paint. Tim, what's been the primary way that you've partnered with Watered Gardens and why?
It's been with providing painting services at cost or at donation base for all the facilities. And why is because the facilities and the people using them are worthy of the best paint job.
That's so sweet, and I love that you really bring that out, and
Yeah.
you clearly believe in the work that Watered Gardens is doing. So
Absolutely.
what would you say to other local business leaders who may be considering whether or not they should get involved?
Think about what your business does and pay attention to what the needs are. That's different for different companies. We're in paint, so painting is obviously one thing we can do, and being able to be a part of the stories being recreated.
I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Howie and James, it has been such a pleasure to host with you tonight. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thanks, Kate. And Tim, thank you for all you do for the mission. Again, I want to thank all of these folks as well who helped sponsor this evening of hope. We just completed our 20th year of ministry. It doesn't seem that long ago that my wife and I opened the doors to a small outreach called Watered Gardens that occupied only a single room. We've experienced a lot, and we've learned a lot in those 20 years. And I want to leave you with one more story of how hope won. One snowy night on Main Street in Joplin, my wife found a homeless woman outside. She offered Mary a ride and then asked if I would push Mary's grocery cart full of her life belongings back to the mission. As I trotted through the snow and the slush with this cart heaping with bags and blankets, I remember the headlights seeming to stare at me as cars passed by on Main Street. And then I saw Mary pass me, sitting in the warm front seat that I was in just a few minutes ago. For just that short time, we traded places. For Mary, it was an evening of hope, and in fact was the beginning of a relationship that led her off the streets. I want to thank you for joining us this evening of hope. And I know some of you have sacrificed much to provide that kind of hope for many. Thank you. And I pray God bless you, that you, your families, the communities we live in will flourish like a watered garden and like a spring that never fails.
Thanks, James, and thank you for joining us. Remember, that silent auction is going to be open until 8:30 p.m. tonight. To give, you can continue doing that. Go to watergardens.org/give. God bless you, and good night.
Paid for by Watered Gardens Ministries.